Hello. Let's see if this is working. So, right then. I know this is normal time. Normally, I'd be doing a live on my YouTube channel about 7 o'clock. But I've set a premiere for that, and frankly, I'm still, let's put it this way. Hello, Ali. I'm getting back to all these things. It's, uh, it's something fun I'm still getting used to. It's going to sound strange. The flights from recovering from jet lag is one thing to do it. Recovering from jet lag combined with functioning insomnia, combined with the joys that are, how do I put this? I came back and my boss was not well at one of the piece of work. So instead of me having a day off to sort of recover after getting back, I went straight into dealing with work mode, and now today has been my day off, and so it's a case of I'm finally able to process with the jet lag and the change in times and everything today. So yeah, that's not that bad, but it could be worse. Let's see. Oh yes, this is what I was working on earlier. If HMS Dreadnought had triple 14-inch turrets, and well, they were 14-inch 48s, because I was also sort of playing around with redoing the video for my the premiere about ships' guns and what modern technology would do to ships' guns in the period. You've got a migraine that's been going for 3 days. That's just not good. Might I recommend mango juice? It helps me with long-term headaches, although I don't get migraines, so it may not work for that. But I find it helps me with headaches when I get them, and it helps me get over all sorts of weird things. My other recommendation is Iron Brew. But I'm told that I shouldn't recommend that to everyone because apparently that isn't a cure-all for everyone else. Just for me. So, this is my HMS Dreadnought with 14-inch guns and 24 knots of speed. Yeah. My engine efficiency is at 300%, so I could probably reduce my size of my funnels on this thing like a bit, because they're at 300%. So I'm guessing they're providing me. That's 62 and that's 55. So that's 117. So let's say 100% I need is 40. This is like 600 tons, 500 tons, so that's 1100 tons, 1200 tons worth of. Yeah, I could go down a tad. Engine efficiency is still 100. I could go down even further. And weight, let's see, that's at 403. Medium funnels. Wide funnel. Wide funnel 2. I now got 500 tons left. What can I do? In nicest way, what shall I do with 500 tons? Yeah. I think those earlier ones are legacies for when I was trying to push this to 27 knots. And basically going, what can we do? Let's see, that's 24 tons. So I can put a lot of these in. Yeah, small boats, you are getting nowhere near me. Under any sense of any stretch of the imagination, and none of you are getting anywhere near me in your small boats. Do I want to put these forward or aft? You see, if I'm going forward, I can ram them out the way. Aft, they might be chasing me. The other option is I could get rid of all of them. And see. I think historically speaking, having the 3-inch guns is would be more accurate. But let's see if I can get this up to 25. Ooh, I've got up to 25. I'm going to leave it at 25. I can't push it up any more than that. That's just... That's just me being naughty. No, that puts me overweight. Yeah, that'll do. I've got a few 3-inch guns now in per service, and that will do. That will definitely do. The casemate 3-inch guns. See if I can push these up a bit in length. Can I? Can I make them long-range 3-inch guns? Oh, I can. Okay, so that means my 3-inch guns now have a range of 11.8 kilometers. My 6-inch guns have a range of 16.3 kilometers with armor piercing. And my 14-inch guns have a range of 37 kilometers. Yeah. What is with the Dreadnought odd forecastle? That's me basically being naughty with a... Yeah, I have to admit it. That's me mucking around with the different things, because I could have gone with a standard superimposed barbette, but I thought I'd try out the medium superimposed barbette because I liked its decal looking, and basically it saved me a few tons. But honestly, yeah, I'll probably get rid of that. Let's go for medium, standard imposed barbette. Subline 14-inch triples. And yeah. There you go. The other scenario is I have got that, I must admit, with an overhang, and I basically designed it. I basically picked out a stock thing and went, yeah, I'll go with that because I fancied it because it looked cool from the shaping at the front, and it was the only one which also gave it a bit of a looking over the turrets, so it gave us angle from this angle. But yes, this is what would have happened if someone had sat round Jackie Fisher and gone, you know what, I can make Dreadnought better. Basically, if that person had been me, this is what HMS Dreadnought would have looked like, with my amount of knowledge. I have no idea what happened here. I claim no knowledge of this design at all. Discard this hull, yes. Let's see what you build. Oh my. Oh, this is getting worse. Oh, this is getting worse. Oh, this is getting worse. Ah! Why would you build it like that? Why? There's just no end to the horror. I mean, does this game have something against the Spanish? Something deep and painful? Okay, let's put it this way. What's these guns? These guns are 8-inch 44s. Okay, I'll leave them in there. So leave the case mated. There's no... If you're going to have the 8-inch, you're not going to have the 6-inch. Get rid of the 6. Okay. Not going to have... Why would I have to... What, wait, why are you doing this? Wait. What happened to you? Do I want to ask what your speed is? You can do 26 point something knots. That's amazing. To everyone who ever knew you. Engine efficiency is terrible, so we're going to fix that. Because we are going to fix that. Okay. That's... Uh, 13-inch belt. What guns have they got? Okay, no, they're not gonna... Why do they have those... Why do they have that as that? Okay, no, we're fixing that. Why would you have 13.6? What, in the name of all things guacamole, would you give them 13.6 for? I'm going to be mildly responsibly kind to them. I'm going to give them 15-inch. Reasonably kind, in that I'm giving them 15-inch. Not very kind, in that they are going to have the same number of guns they had previously. And they're going to have basically stock guns. Because I'm not that kind. I'm not in the business. I'm not in the business of taking in when they build an opponent which I can easily beat. I'm not in the business of then going, you know what, I'm going to make this opponent so that I can just... I don't beat them easily. Not sure why the port is heavier than the starboard, but I think it's something to do with that. Casemate gun 8-inch. Yes. You have a lot of 8-inch guns. You happy. So. You have got 10 turret. Okay, let's make the main belt 13 inches because that's about standard. I'm not sure why oh, good lord, the deck armor. Oh, the inner belt. Oh. We'll sort that out. Again, what are you armoring this against? What you can have 1 for this one. And you can have 2 for that. 4 because we keep this realistic here. 4 and 4. Half weight offset 5.3%. What? How in the name of all things guacamole and Coca-Cola is the half weight heavier of that heavier? Hello, Code. Is it Doc Torture? No. This is just solving your mysteries of deep. Oh, cool. Which episode? What was I talking about? Was it anything interesting? Because I'm sure it was interesting, because I quite liked it. I enjoyed Mysteries of the Deep. It was a lot of fun. Now we're going to put that back to 0. Back to 0. Back to 0. Conventional. Yeah, we'll leave it like that. Now, your armor piercing range is 18.3 kilometers. My armor piercing range is 37. Okay. This is not fair. Why do I have to build... Why couldn't you build up the ship to be a decent ship? Why do I have to build the ship up to be something better than it was? Okay, that's slightly more fair. secondary guns. Because you liked your 8-inch so much, I'm going to give you some more 8-inch. In turret form, okay? You've got casemates and you've got turrets of 8-inch. You've got a lot of 8-inch guns, okay? This is not, you are not a bad ship design. I would like it to be noted, though, goodness gracious me, this ship is interesting. So let's compare those stats versus my stats. Standard. Yeah, mine's about half their displacement and has a range of 9,846 kilometers. Theirs has 60,000 tons and has a range of that. And they can run this out of me. This is an amazing ship for 1920. When I was considering, I was trying to aim at 1905, but hey ho. We're going to stick you down at 25 knots. Because frankly, Spain, I just don't believe you could build anything that good at that point. And oil fuel geared turbines. You can go down to you can have regular turbines. And triple hold, double, yeah, all enhanced reloading, yeah. 19-inch torpedoes, that's fine. Citric acid bursting charge. Cordite 2, yeah, that's all pretty good. I'll accept all that. I've gone for a TNT bursting charge because whilst the citric acid is very nice, TNT comes with some advantages. Especially for someone like me who doesn't like these things blasting off on them. Serious. We're just going to leave that as it. Okay, we'll launch. We'll launch. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Right, there is one thing I've noticed since I need to get back home. I need to fix some of the squares in my office carpet, which is fine, because they're just squares you just take out and put in new ones. Queen Anne's Revenge. There's something. There is something going on here. So, as is traditional, I've set this up to be numerically randomly accurate. No. You join the division, okay? All 4 of you together. Avoid torpedoes, and let's see what happens. So we have 15-inch gunships on the Spanish side against 14-inch gunships on the British side. The British ships are designed to be the product of 1905 technology if you'd built 1907 sort of like 5-6 technology, basically. If you built HMS Dreadnought as a 14-inch triple turret ship. And actually build her with the capabilities you could have built her in that period instead of what Jackie Fisher thought was viable. Oh, good lord, we're in 6-inch range. That's not good. Because that means we're in 8-inch range, I think. I forget how long range their 8-inch guns were. But, broadly speaking, they have 20 15-inch guns versus 60 14-inch guns. So we'll see what happens. As is usual with this game, for some reason, the game audio goes massively loud compared to everything else. Not quite sure why. It does. How is everyone doing? Okay. We already have flooding going on over here. Neither side has a decisive speed advantage, but one side does have a numbers and firepower advantage. Which is rather like if the Spanish thing. And here is the thing, the Spanish Navy actually having a ship this big would have been an amazing feat of where did you buy it? That is just not a good... That doesn't look to be good to be in that. That's just... Thinking about those being 14-inch shells coming towards you really does make you think about life and a lot of other things. And by the way, if your ship was actually firing when it was healing at that angle, I would be very impressed. I'd be frigating impressed. I'd be massively impressed. Let's go to settings and sound. And general volume can go down a bit. And apply. Let's hope that stays happy. Apply. Hope that's better. I hope that's better. Hello, King's Rook. How's life going? How Lysian? Now, but still, there's a lot of guns coming towards you. If I didn't know better, I'd reckon that ship was in trouble of some kind. Because I swear they're handling them as two independent divisions, whereas mine's just staying together as one solid four, going, yeah, our strength is in the fact that we outnumber you and we have sufficient firepower to blast you to Kingdom Come. And we will do so. Oh, that's not good. Again, if a ship was actually firing whilst angled like that, it would be the USS Texas. There is a reason the USS Texas doing its flooding and still firing its guns is considered a remarkable occasion. Because guess what? Ships are not designed to fire at that angle. How long have I been awake? Don't ask that question. Because I had a bit of a sleep when I got back, and then I had to fill in yesterday for work, and then I had to deal with some other issues last night. So I may or may not have actually only had about 6 hours sleep since I've been back. Which might be why I'm not doing a live on YouTube this evening. And instead it's a premiere. Certainly something's here. The Santa Rosa doesn't look to be in a good condition. The fact that, honestly, I'm just impressed with the game mechanics. Because look, as far as I can see, she's firing directly into the water. Or actually having to angle the ships up, the guns up as high as they can to fire. And I swear the 8-inch guns are firing still, and they are firing definitely into water. There is no chance they're hitting anything other than water. It's just impressive, really. It is really impressive. I should go back and check on my own division. Check, are you all okay? You all look to be completely and utterly fine. Just sailing along here, having a Sunday after. So this is basically what it would have been like for the Spanish Navy to try and fight the Royal Navy in the first half of the 20th century. Honestly, whilst I realise the numbers are not quite so advantageous to this day, I would say probably not too different to what might happen today if the Spanish Navy was silly enough for that to end up as being a course of events. And I don't think they would. I think they'd honestly tell their politicians, what have you been thinking? I don't think it'd be quite as easy as this is going, or quite as easy as it would have been in the first half of the century, because they are very good sailors, and this is the point here. This is the reason I do set it as the Spanish, because they usually do produce pretty good ships, especially if they're put on veterancy. They do fight well. But, yeah. I suppose I should be spending some time, more time doing Anglo-Spanish competitions, because, of course, I've got to refight the Battle of Trafalgar at some point soon. Oh, goodness gracious me, that's going to be fun. Right. So, are you hearing my voice better now I've turned the sound down? Are you hearing my voice better? Look at how far I've had to pan back so we can see both ships. Yeah, I reckon she's not long ago for this world. There you go. Now I can see all the ships. Yay. There's no game sound at all. I can still hear the game sound. So I'm not sure why you can't hear it. Let's see. Oh. I have a feeling this vessel is not long for this world. And I'm saying that based purely on the fact that, there are 60 14-inch shells raining on it. A salvo. And that's just not good odds. Because the odds of 60 shells raining on you, they're going to be hitting. You got into 3-inch shell range. You got into 3-inch range of him. Okay, we've been over cruel and unusual punishment. Getting into 3-inch range is cruel and unusual punishment. I only fit you 3-inch guns because that's historically accurate. Not because I expect you to actually use them. 3-inch guns are supposed to be used for anti-destroyer efforts, not to attack other capital ships. Okay? We've been over this before, Triumph. And especially how I thought you would do better, you'd be better behaved. Royal Oak, seriously, and Africa. Of course, there is an Africa. I should probably take her off and do some solo stuff with her. Let's see. Let's see. From division. If I remember correctly. I don't want the whole division going there. I just want Africa. The rest, put the rest division onto actual control of the AI, leave them on the control of the AI. I'm just going to take Africa off for some fun. Or are you guys just do I always want to see what you're doing? Yeah, you were just turning around to go back again, weren't you? You're just evil, okay? How long are you back? Back on the small end, I mean. Let's see. I don't think I'm going anywhere soon off the UK. Not soon, anyway. Not soon. They did well. They did well. No. Let's go to the 1940s. And let's design a ship here and see what we can do here. Oh yeah, you'll do. If I remember correctly, you have, yes, those. Yeah, that's going to be fun. That'll do. Let's find out what the Spanish get. Modern battleship. I'm not going for the super battleship. Oh, why have you given them a French-style cut-down back aft? Okay, let's see what you come up with. Oh, God. When did I get back from Australia? I got back from Australia. I arrived back Tuesday. Right. I can now say that for Chalk Valley, it looks on Saturday. It looks like there's going to be quite a lot of, if anyone else is going to be there, of Navhist Oz 23 are going to be. Quite a lot of us are going to be there, and extras. Right, and I'm going to fix this design. Okay, do you mind? I am going to. Oh, I'm going to fix it. I am. What happened to you? Oh. At some point, someone had a bright idea. This is why when people tell me AI is going to take over the world, I'm less than worried. I've seen what AI designs. I'm not worried about it. Oh, good. Funnels. Why is there a German funnel design here? Why is there a German funnel? Okay, I know they were fascisty power, but let's be honest. Of the fascisty power, the Spanish were probably the least likely to adopt German engineering. Right, what have we got? We've got 8.1 inch. We'll go with the 8-inch theme. They do like their 8.1 inch. They've got twins. They seem to like their twins. I'm not going to put a twin there. Goodness gracious me. There you go. There you go. We've got twins. Ship's overweight. I'm not surprised the ship's overweight. I've seen the design. Yeah, but Chalk Valley, there's going to be a lot of us there. That's free. I didn't. Why would I have 3-inch and 4-inch and all these other? Am I designing a German ship by proxy? Is that what you've done? Do you put them in the same metric as the Germans? This is a compact battleship tower, I'm presuming. Number 2? Why would I have number 2, not number 3? Number 3. Let's go with number 3. Yeah. That looks far cuter. Let's go with a double hull. That should give me a weight back and... Yeah, why do I have crop armor? Why do you hate me so? I'm gonna give myself some veterans. This game is torturing me. I'd say these funnels do quite well. Oh, they allow. Oh, those tunnels are quite useful. I agree. Not sure, but I've gone with 6. But there again, I can get many more of these. Many more. So I've now got 3 forward. Why you on a tall superimposed barbette? Who put you on a tall superimposed barbette? Okay. I would like to go for a standard superimposed barbette. And that should do. And yeah. We'll go with the rest as designed. It's got a 10-inch main belt. Cute. Let's actually give it a chance of living, shall we? No. What? Okay. That. That to 7.5. That to 5. And that to 2.5. So that makes sense. That to 2. And that to 1. And main deck. Oh my, isn't that pretty? Let's see if we can't put that up to 15. And that up to 15. And put that up to 4. Yeah. That's 21 inches of armor. Oh. Yeah. That's something. That's something, definitely. That is something. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, King's Rook, you've done something which is a good question. Yes, this does look less fugly than the last one, but this is a better one than it was. Last night, I made the mistake of measuring the distances between the islands in the Canadian Arctic archipelago and the distance between islands in the internal archipelago waters of various island nations. And I even less understand how people can claim the CCA isn't the internal waters to Canada. But all I can figure out is that everyone thinks the Mercator projection is accurate at the poles. Basically, King's Rook, what you're dealing with is people, if they really don't want to see something, they really will do everything they can not to see it. Balls and Swords did a Black Sea Battle of Trafalgar game. I will look at that, Leslie. Right then. What speed can you do? 30 knots, 20,000. Bulkhead standard. These have a range of what? 57.5 kilometers. These have a range of 34 kilometers. This has, well, it has radar. It does have radar. And this has radar again. Yeah, let's see what happens. Let's launch. Ah, Lexington class. I liked the video I did about the Lexington class. Billcrest, Italian Mediterranean battleship, basically a coastal battleship for Med. Sort of ancient Rome vibes. 1920. Okay, after we've done this battle, let's see what happens. That's always nice when you start off as the furthest apart you can put yourselves and you're already into fighting range of this ship. And there's 4 of them. And they're all firing 18-inch shells at you. And they've already scored a hit. You're going, yeah, I have 3 knots of advantage in speed. But they have 20 kilometers more of range. This is the old thing of, I have the speed, but by the time I'm in range to use it, I'm not going to be much of me left. And they're named Hannibal, Thunderer, Lion, and Dreadnought. That's just not a good set of names, okay? That's just not a good... Who selected your names from the Royal Navy naming pot? Because Hannibal, Thunderer, Lion, and Dreadnought is not a good set of... If I came across 4 battleships in the ocean, the only ones which would make that possibly worse would if there was a warspite of the Texas amongst you. Only at that point would I be able to go, yes, I have finally reached the full quota of machine spirit battleships which are designed to kill everything. And will kill everything. Mare Nostrum class, yes, I do get that, and yes. I'll have a go at building out the Italian in a bit of this. They've decided you're heavy cruisers, because apparently you just don't have the interest in them to be a battleship. Oh no, you are now firing back. You hitting anything? Yeah, you're at maximum range. I do think once again, the thing is doing the lovely thing of actually closing the distance. And you sit there and go, why? Why would I be closing the distance? These I can understand why they'd want to close the distance, but I can understand why they're trying to close the distance. Because there is no point in them closing the distance. Literally, there is no point. No one wants to get in 6-inch range of their opponents. They don't. That's why they have 18-inch guns, so they don't have to get into 6-inch range of their opponents. So they can basically pummel them away from 50 kilometers away. Oh great, we're now in 6-inch gun range. That's just... They have 16 15-inch guns. Versus, and I kid you not, between 2 ships, 16 15 versus 36 18-inch guns. So yeah, there's 36 18-inch guns firing them right now. I can tell you at this point, I am feeling that you are very brave. Your officers are incredibly brave. And your crew is incredibly brave and incredibly loyal. You haven't even got into 8-inch gun range yet. When you do, that's going to be interesting. But you are in 6-inch gun range, judging by the general maelstrom of stuff which is coming your direction. Not hitting anything. And in the nicest way, the moment you're in 6-inch gun range from one of these ships, you're at 23 kilometers range. From one of these ships. The 18-inch guns are at about half range. And they should be considering this to be eating distance. I.e., they should just be chewing you up. And now you're on fire, so you're just a marked target. You should be getting hit by an 18-inch shell every single salvo at this point. At this range. For some reason they're focusing on a lion. They decided they want to take out the third in line. Not quite sure where that came from, because basically by doing that you are ignoring the other three completely. And that's not a good place to be in. But they are fairly stable ships. They are well-built ships. Bravest... No. There are several levels that can go for British for unwise, okay? Brave... noble... When we use the expression courageous, that is basically British code, British clarification. That is British for, oh my lord, why would you do that? Brave is noble, but, you know, noble is not that good either. Okay. While I'm letting this happen, I am also being mildly rude, but I am sending a certain member of Naval History Australia 23 the website for getting tickets from Chalk Valley. Nope, Dan has beaten me to it. Thank you, Dan. I love this group. I love working with them. It's more fun than anything. Career unaliving. No, yes, courageous basically means if you tell someone they're being courageous in political terms, you're basically telling them your stand you're making is courageous. Your career is going to be over. Okay, at this point, you will not be firing. You will not be hitting anything. And you're getting way too close to 18-inch guns. I know your reason for getting too close, because you're basically hammering line here. But you see, the thing is, I set up my battleships to use their 18-inch guns and sit at roughly 50 kilometers range and blast the ever-loving out of you at 50 kilometers range. Not let you close to, and I kid you not, yes, thank you for turning out of the line. Closing to 12 kilometers range, at which point there's no point having armor. Or this one, which is at, what? Shoot info. That's like 10 kilometers range? And by the way, if I was that ball of destruction, that would not be me firing back. I know where I come on the scale of staying here or getting off this ship. At this point, I'd be getting off the ship. Yowza. Now, admittedly, I have to say I did build some good ships. No, even more courageous is this ship, because look at how friggin' close it is. Okay, you see, that's the problem. It's doing that as long as they're concentrating on that thing. But the moment they're no longer concentrating on that thing, you are at what? Spitting distance from those 18-inch guns? Can they even depress that low to engage you? You! Get out of there! Stop! Why are you doing this to me and yourself? There are 3 of them. You do not need to be here. You could have sailed off into the wide blue yonder and perfectly safely recovered yourself. You do not need to do this. You do not need to fight to the death. There is no reason. There are 3 of your colleagues here, quite happy to smash the ever-loving out of the enemy. I think I am going to lose line. But mainly that's because, again, the AI doesn't seem to understand you set up the guns and armor not to close range. For some reason they have everything set up so their ships fight like they're all the whole way through, like they're pre-Dreadnoughts, and they're going to close the range and gotta pummel each other at 6-inch range. You don't do that once you get to a Dreadnought. You blast at each other from long range. That's what you set up the armor for. There is no amount of armor I could give a ship that could withstand the firepower at that range. Wonder if there is. How much? And what's the maximum armor I could give a ship? That's an interesting thing. Ay, caramba, ove, ove, ove. Max armor modding is 35 inches. That still is not going to make you invulnerable at this range. Okay. Yes, and Lion hasn't sunk, which is frankly amazing on Lion's side. What guns would you give it? Well, that's... Okay, I know I said I would do the Roman one first, and I will do, because I won't actually play this, but I'm going to do a new design of battleship. And let's put it this way. 35. I'm not sure why I managed to click out of it. Thank you, Guardsman 14. And subscribe for 4 months. Okay, so that's 200,000 tons. It won't actually let me build a ship with that level of armor. And launch it. But what I will say is this. If there is a mod somewhere which would allow me to, I think I would try this out. Because, let's be honest, you might as well try out what's the most unsinkable, reinforced, maximum bulkheads. We want veterans handling this sort of thing. Turbines, gas turbines. Yeah, we really do want to find out what this particular system, oh yeah, could do. And I'm not saying purely from the point of view of just maxing the vessel out and seeing what it could be, but Citadel armor. I wonder what the thickest I can get this is. Can I get this up to 35? 21 inch. So, I'm just fairly certain that there aren't many things which could unalive this. Might weigh in at 400,000 tons. But, yeah. I doubt there's a thing this game could build that would beat this. In fact, honestly, I'd be surprised if there was anything. Yeah, what's the range of those guns? 60 kilometers for armor piercing, high explosive 57.3 kilometers. Yeah, secondaries, let just go with. Yeah, we got the ship as fat as we can get it, haven't we? We have. Well, hang on, we can't get 5 inch up on there. 6 inch. Can we get 6 inch up on there? We can get 16 triples. Okay, we're going with 16 triples then. Yeah, we're going with 16 triples because why ever not? Why not? And because when you've got 16 triples, they too should be armed with as much armor as you can physically put on them. They should be. Yeah, this thing. If you built this, actually no. Here would be a fun thing to imagine for everyone as a question. What would happen if you went back in time and you gave this to Jackie Fisher and told him, "Here, this is HMS. This is HMS Dreadnought. World War One with this beast in it." Anyone want to think about how long World War One would last with this thing floating around? I'm fairly certain German High Seas Fleet might consider easier ways of dying. Oh, you can add in depth charges available only for campaign mode, minesweeping, and mines. Oh, all sorts of fun things. I haven't added torpedoes, have I? I should really add torpedoes. You know, it's very remiss of me to not add torpedoes. The fact that you all didn't remind me that I hadn't added torpedoes is just, you know, wrong. We need torpedoes. They need to be 24 inches. They need to be oxygen. They need to be carrying a lot of them. And yeah, we are now at 402,000. And frankly, I wonder how fast we can push this. Engine efficiency is aft weight offset is now 51%. We don't want to go that far. What do we need to do to well, ideally, I need another funnel, I suppose. This is my problem. I do need another funnel. Aft offset is that level, so I need to think this through in terms of, you know, funnels. I do need to think this through in terms of a funnel. Where should I put the extra funnel? Because I did go with gas turbines, but perhaps if I go with diesel? No, that won't help me with engine efficiency. Gear turbines. And I go with forced. Oh, forced. Forced gear turbines. I should have known to go that. Yeah, I should have gone that. Engine efficiency is now back up to 100 liters. That's fine. Aft weight offset 16%. Okay. So, yes, I need to think of something else to probably do that. That helps the aft weight offset, doesn't it? Yeah. Do we think that's enough firepower? It does have radar, yes. It does have radar. It has Gen 3 radar. So basically, the plan for this ship is you get anywhere close to it, it will have a conversation with you that you will not enjoy. I think we want to give it the maximum range. It's now got a range of 24. It's 412,000 tons. Basically, let's be honest, it's 413. And I haven't even added in the 20mm yet. This is remiss of me. I've got to add in the 40mm. So the other phrase for this vessel that might well describe its appearance in any way, shape, or form around the world would be try it. Basically, that's what this exists to say. Try it, and we'll see if you succeed. We doubt you will, though. It doesn't need a flight deck. Barely. This thing doesn't need anything, really. In a World War One scenario, this thing needs a direction. It basically, in a World War One scenario, this one appears in World War One, and the world goes, we would like to be peaceful for the next 10 years, whilst everyone else works out how the frick you built it. Oh. Okay. So, that is the... we will never be able to use this unless we are in cheat mode. Appropriately named the Colossus, because it is colossal. And I think someone's smoking wacky backy outside, judging from the smell. Yes, definitely. Not really the good stuff either. Quite disturbing. And before anyone asks how I know, despite never having spoke to myself, I have worked in universities. I have been to university since I was 18 years old. That is now 18 years of working and working and teaching in universities. If you think after 18 years of working in universities, especially in arts departments as much as I have, i.e. history, etc., that I haven't learnt A, the smell of wacky backy, and B, how to smell and tell the difference between the good stuff, the okay stuff, and the stuff which frankly you shouldn't be putting anywhere near you, then you are grossly underestimating the usage in the British university system. And this is definitely the stuff which you shouldn't be putting anywhere near you. Oh, wait. Ugh. Aye. This is basically this is basically either, depending on who you are, the nightmares or the possible wet dreams of certain members of the armed forces of various nations. I mean, let's be honest, if the British launched this in 1905, just imagine what the Americans would be trying to build. Tillman would have been Tillman would be laughed at because it was so small compared to what they actually built. They would be worried about the width of the Panama Canal. It would rebuild the Panama Canal. Just seriously, 12, 20-inch guns. Okay, someone's had a very happy time recently. Actually, no, I tell a lie. They are 20.9-inch guns. So, you can work out what a 20.9-inch 61 cal gun is going to do. The odds are nothing nice to anyone who's on the receiving end of it. At 400,000 tons, this would, yes, be interesting. I don't think there would be anything left. Just imagine that ship. Oh god, it weighs as much as almost a good dozen, possibly more, of the British ships that fought at Jutland. That one ship would displace as much of them all. Hello, Malaga. Yes, I'm back from Australia. Ay, caramba. Right, let's exit the constructor and let's go and build. Right, so we're building the Italian one in 1920. And we're gonna carry on taking on the Spanish because it's just good manners and because the Spanish are fairly decent. The Spanish again get 2, but the Italians will get. Well, they would usually have, let's say they got 3 of their ships. They get half their fleet coming out for this battle. just a bit heavier. 1920. Mare Nostrum. Hang on. What am I building? That's the Japanese. That's the Italian one. The Spanish one. This is the Mare Nostrum. Mare Nostrum. You know what I'm going to pretty much build. No, spacious, and I'll put seasoned because they are them. Oh, why would the Italians wouldn't be putting in terrible armor? Italians usually had fairly good armor. They were sort of building a turtleback for them. Double hull would be historically accurate. They wouldn't go for batteries, they go for a diesel engine. Geared turbines, yes. Oil. Forced. Shaft, definitely free. Electro-hydraulic, actually, one. And we want a 13-inch main belt, and a 13-inch fore belt, and a 13-inch aft belt. We'll see what that does. We want a 4, 4, 4, and we want a 2, and a 1, and a 4, and a 2. Should be fairly decent. Right then, let's do this. Oh yeah, it's Italian, so it's going to have decent chunky beam, but not that deep a draft. Let's give it that, let's give it that, and let's give it that. So now I've got 10,000 tons for the rest of the things. That doesn't look Italian, that looks German. That looks German as well. What do? Do they presume all the Axis navies have the same design? They don't. They really don't. And that's definitely from their German models. Okay, that's just... no. This really starts to annoy me at certain points because they really don't allow you to build ships which look historically accurate. Because they just give you the stuff which you would have got if you were a German or a... And they're not German. The Italians were definitely not German. So, send line guns. Now, full weight offset is quite massive. Let's start moving some things round. Right, 4 off 8 we got down. Okay, let's go for bar bets to 4. Let's take everything down by a bit. Pitch is currently 37%. We'll see what we can do about that. I wonder if we can make these narrow as anything. Too tight. So that should make it nice and fast, engine efficiency wise. Let's go for secondaries. But I'd like the 6-inch gun. It's basically, I do admit the 6-inch is my choice of gun, but you know, I like the 6-inch. I think as secondaries go, it's pretty darn good. It tends to work well for me when I use it as a secondary. Pitch is pretty darn high. Ooh, counter ballistic. Standard ratio, increased number of shells. Let's go with super heavies. Let's go for the best of TNT and chew powder. Can we get... No, we can't get a semi-auto. Can we get enhanced? We can get enhanced. No, we can't get electric hydro. That'll do. And we're still got 90 tons left, so we'll leave them at 18-inch, but we'll put them at slightly reduced tonnage. No, that is not going to work. What can we do? What can we do to take you down a bit? Full weight offset. I'm not bothered about that too much. That's annoying, but nothing I can't deal with. But I can take the armor down a bit at the front, and that will probably help. So if I take the armor down to... Let's go down to 10. And then we've got quite a lot of weight left. Put that to 5 inches. Yeah. That should give us a bit more protection. Yeah. So there you go. I'm glad to hear that that guardsman that your GF prefers the 8-inch. It's a good job. Let's put it this way. I filter jokes before they come out my mouth, and yeah, that caused me to have to filter a couple. It did. Now those are now 45s, 15-inch 45s, and that's a fairly good weapon to have. So I'm going to want to keep it at that. But I'm now 700 tons overweight. So where should I lose the 700 tons? Anything else I feel like losing some weight in? What are they? And, no. Nope. That'll do. Right, shall we see what this what happens? I'm keeping quiet. I am keeping quiet. Just gonna quickly check something up. Quickly sorting out the joyous question of what time are we all leaving to get to Chalk Valley. So let's see, will the Italians be able to beat the Spanish? Now, you see me play. Nope. There are pictures of me playing, me taking photos of quokkas, but I don't think I've. There are plenty of pictures around of me me playing with otters, because they're just fun to play with, and I have helped out at an otter sanctuary a couple of times. Especially with the otters who can never make it out into the wild and never be put back in the wild because of their injuries. So there are lots of pictures around the internet of me doing that, and lots of people see me doing that. But no, I don't think I've ever met beavers. You can definitely plead the fifth because I can't even think of it. Timberborn. Ah, Timberborn. Yes. I have done that. That is beavers. See, but they're not real beavers. They're digital beavers. And as we all know, digital beaver is just not as fun as the real ones. It's kind of like all things in life. You know, the digital version is interesting and it's rewarding in its own way, but it's not as fun as the real thing. And it's the same with beavers. You know, Dimmerborn is a lot of fun. You can organise the beavers. You can even get the beavers to create their entirely sort of, well, let's be honest, they're robot beavers, which will do a lot of the work for you. But you know, let's be honest, the golems are only good for certain things. Actually, Guardsman 14, did you ever work out how to make a carry armor quad 6-inch revolving manual loading barrel case mate guns in pop-up placements with clamshell doors on hydraulic lift? Yeah. I actually have done some sketch designs on that, but it was mostly to torment Drakenafel while we were in Australia. Basically, there was one night where he and I ended out at dinner on just us, and we equally were trying to torment each other with the various things that we have been asked by people to go, can you come up with this? And we're going, this, I'm not sure how we do this. Not sure how we work this one out. So theoretically, this is a fairly even fight. 15-inch versus 15-inch. And, yeah, these have 10 guns each. These have 12 guns each. So theoretically, this is an interesting one. This is an interesting one. I would agree to the Ginsbrook. You do not want to get close to the beaver. They're very much rodents of an unusual size. The same can be said for quokkas. But at one point, I was fairly certain that we were going to have to do a full frisk of Drac to make sure he hadn't brought one home with him. And when I say a full frisk, I was volunteering Dr. Dan for it because I didn't want to do anything. Mm-hmm. Again, Guardsman 14, I am resisting the joke which is percolating into my mind. You have to remember, I have spent a month now with John Bull, aka Gareth, Dr. Dan, and Drac. And the four of us together, let's put it this way, do not necessarily bring out the most mature sense of humour in each other of us. No, quokkas might not be 150 pounds of pure muscle, but they are certainly interesting. Alright. That's the mug I'm using today. What have I got? Oh. I got some iron brew. I am happy. Oh, I am very happy. I haven't managed to make any turrets blow up today. I'm not sure how. I have noticed that it hasn't been happening much since the latest updates, and I am on pretty much the latest update. But they did fix, for a short while, the ships so they didn't close. These aren't closing at the moment, which is fairly decent. Hold on. But it's 20 15-inch guns versus 36 15-inch guns. Okay. So they're just cruising outside a torpedo and 6-inch range. Torpedo range is 9.1 kilometers. 6-inch gun range is 9 kilometers range. So they're keeping it roughly 9,000. Well, let's say 9 kilometers. Let's say they are 9.1, 2, 3, 4. Roughly 9.4 kilometers they're keeping at. And so I'd say roughly 10,000 yards, probably. Let's be honest, it's in the region of 10,000 yards. The fact that their 3-inch gun is now 3-inch guns are now engaging is just adding insult to injury. But yeah, so is the fact that they've now entered torpedo and 6-inch range. Yep, it's up to R6. I should really just have WhatsApp turn up on my phone. On my screen, flash up on my screen. No. Nope, nope, and nope. Let's check that the video which went live at 7 has worked. At 7. Yeah. This is... Well, the Cerbereo is a bit damaged, I suppose, but neither are massively damaged. None of those are massively damaged. Accuracy is terrible. When in real life, at this range, it would have been considered spitting distance. You're at less than 9 kilometers range. In the nicest way, in Jutland terms, you're at their front door. This is the point at which you start to really rack up the hits at 9 kilometers range. You can almost fire it under local control and you pretty much guarantee hits. Let alone with fire controls at the tables they have. Well, it seems to be more the 8-inch of the Spanish which is doing the damage, more than the 15-inch. Is the turret going to cook off over here? Nope. I have to say that's one of the interesting things I've noticed they haven't yet added into UAD is the fire suppression systems. Castle 14. In historical terms, in this match, the 8-inch is doing a lot more work than the 6-inch and the 15 inches. Seems to be proving a more versatile weapon. But honestly, none of these ships are in that amount of damage. Sorbero is taking the most damage of any ship here, and it's... Basically, this is a good example of a fairly evenly matched battle. The Italians don't have enough numbers. Possibly got it. To actually make a really telling difference. They just don't. The interesting thing is going to be who runs out of ammunition first. They have a lot more ammunition in their included in the design. Remember, this started out as a computer baseline design, and I tend to be slightly more obsessed with putting in 15 in ammunition than the computer is, because I worry about running out. Definitely. In which case, let's be honest, this one's 1.5-inch guns have run out of ammunition already. They've used up all their 1.5-inch ammunition. Either that or it's burned or blown off. That could be their damage. They could have lost their 1.5-inch ammunition in a fire. I think that's probably it. I think that's probably what... I honestly can't see where that would have been. Ow! That looks like it hurts, but not that much, so she's still afloat. And that's well above the waterline. I think that's showing plate damage quite nicely, though. Let's go find out which one of you is the most damaged. Let's have a look and see what you're... You see, you look in far worse nick than your Spanish counterpart does. You do. You look far worse nick. That's mostly because most of these damage was done by the 8-inch shells going off on your deck. And basically going, ah, I'm burning. Mm-hmm. You're on fire again. That's not good. Fire's out. Then we have the Eco Vittorioso, which is just going, yes, I'm out for a Sunday sail. I'm completely being ignored here. Mare Nostrum herself, who has, well, had some rather impressive looking damage, but is basically carrying on unconcerned. Sabea, as you know, has this, and then San Pasto is basically going, oh, no, she's sporting some damage as well. Apparently, that hit has caused so little damage, she's still registered as 100% and 100% structural infiltration capabilities. So, that's how much little damage those hits caused. I have a funny feeling this is going to come down to who runs out of ammunition first. Hello, Killerman. Killerman, I have a theory I wish to run by you. Okay. Let's zoom out so we can see the fighting going on. A Polish Grom class destroyer, even with its old 7-gun layout, is about exactly what the Iron wants in a fleet destroyer. You're not far off, no. Some changes, but, you know, not a much. There's not much difference between it and what the Royal Navy want for their destroyers. You know, it weighs in, it's slightly heavier than the British were allowed to have on the standard. But it's roughly the right length. It's got 7 4.7-inch guns, which is a bit weird. They prefer the 8 of the tribals. It's got the 40mm AA guns, which they have. It's got the torpedo tubes, the 2 triples, while the British tended to go with quadruples or quintuples by this point. Depth charge throwers, yeah, it's pretty dang on. I would say she's about as close as you get to an export tribal, yes. There is a reason why the Polish Navy were considered fairly decent fits. But again, it makes sense because a tribal class destroyer is your general purpose destroyer. So what does the small navy want? The small navy doesn't want a specialist, it wants a general purpose vessel that can fit around. So there's a reason why they go with that design, there's a reason why they go with that as their basis, and there's a reason why it looks like it does. Because, you know, it works that way. Who would win out of Free España class and the SMS Kaiser? Well, part of me would love to say the Free España class versus the Kaiser is let's put it this way, probably the Spanish win, but it's not going to be the win which you'd hope 3-1 odds in terms of numbers would give you. In that, I'm fairly sure at least 2 of their ships get sunk. But it would not be fun. And, yeah, Kilden. An export tribal is certainly a good way of thinking about a Grom. You're being nice. You're going for 1 España destroyed and 1 crippled. Yeah, 1 could be crippled or sunk. But I reckon the odds are they only have 1 España left working after it. And when I mean working, I mean only 1 España they can actually put into service. No. Let's leave it at that. See if speed increase helps. We could test it at some point. Not today. Maybe tomorrow night. I will do another UAD tomorrow night when I'm more awake.
I have a feeling that I have managed to set up a battle which will never end on this one. If the Spanish had got a Littorio variant, it would have been a very interesting scenario, because I think at that point the Germans would have put more effort into persuading Spain to join World War II, especially if they got it before the war began, because that would have been incredibly useful. That would be a very viable strategic asset to have in considering the places where it would have been. I don't think the Royal Navy would have committed King George V to the Mediterranean. I think they would have still... I think the reality you have is that Nelson and Rodney and Renown probably get Force H permanently. The 15-inch ships get the Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Elizabeth class, which have been rebuilt, get the Western Mediterranean, get the Eastern Mediterranean, the Mediterranean fleet. Force H is built around Rodney, Nelson, and Renown, and I wouldn't be surprised if the King George V still get the North Atlantic Patrol. I think longer term you would get more ships. I think one of the interesting things, if the Spanish had been building that and going to get that, I think you would have possibly seen a difference in terms of the British construction program. Also, I have this sneaking feeling that there would have been... It's going to sound strange, but there might have been more construction going on earlier. Because part of the reason that filters into the British construction of King George V, etc., and their capital ship program, part of the speed that goes into it and the pace for it that they've chosen is based on the idea of primarily fighting Japan, possibly fighting Italy, potentially fighting Germany. Once you have Spain also building a battleship, and therefore you have a kernel of fascisti powers, who, whilst they might spend as much time being annoying to each other as they can, could actually potentially form an alliance you'd have to deal with. And considering positions of Spain and Italy are geographically troublesome, even if they're not military troublesome as individual nations, you would probably have had Britain change its procurement plans to an extent in that I think you would have seen them build more. However, I also think you'd have seen most of the reliance on dealing with a Spanish battleship, especially post the Spanish Civil War, would be submarine based, because they know that Spain has lost most of their destroyers, lost most of their escorts, and the actual thing is, most of their harbours are not that easy to defend in terms of access. So if you have a submarine sitting outside that harbour, lying in wait, the odds are the battleship comes out and it gets slammed by a T-class. And remember, those T-class are ambush predators. They're able to fire, especially the early ones, are able to fire a salvo of 10 torpedoes at a target. The odds are that's going to score enough hits to sink it. Yeah. I'm tempted to end this battle because, frankly, it's gone off long enough, and frankly, if the Spanish end up losing, it's because they've run out of ammunition and they're still hanging around to fight for some absurd reason. I'm still not quite sure why they would hang around to fight if they had run out of ammunition, when I think they can actually go faster than the Italians. Good. So pulling Alexandria and Corona? To an extent, yeah. But you also have to remember that the British would be, if Spain joined the war, Portugal would be almost certainly joining the Allies, almost certainly preparing for the invasion and for an invasion, and therefore would it would change things quite quickly, and the Spanish forces were not in any way, shape, or form recovered enough from the Spanish Civil War in the 1939, early 1940s to actually fight. And the Portuguese armed forces were organised, and they were well trained. There is some interesting points in terms of the shift of the Spanish construction from British to Italian, as you say. But there is also the fact that you can overstate that shift because Franco is very careful to try and keep the traditional alliances open. And the British by no means shut the door on him. True about the big Spanish yards being British yards. Yeah. Everyone spent a lot of money trying to keep everyone out of the war as long as they could. I don't think we spent millions keeping the Spanish placated. It's gonna sound strange. It was a mixture of intelligence, fear, and bribery where necessary. But it was a combination approach. It was never just rely on one side of it all. Danegeld only works so far. On individuals, gold was certainly used. But more importantly was intelligence. And one of the things about Spain you have to remember is it was our backdoor into Europe the whole way through the Second World War. Millions is in today's money. Yeah, but you also have to be careful to say that's in today's money because millions in then was... let's put it this way, would be a lot more today. Right. Right, it's 29. I have managed to miss lunch today and miss breakfast. And I have been basically working all day, and this has been my time off this evening because I fancy chatting with all of you and checking this all worked rather than heading straight into the house when I finished. So I'm going to say thank you very much for joining me. Thank you, Killerbin. Thank you, Guardsman14. Thank you, King's Rook. Thank you, Leslian. Thank you, Jonathan Moon. Thank you, Ali Loves History. Thank you, everyone who showed up this evening. And I'm going to go off, but you'll see me again tomorrow evening because I'll do my regularly scheduled UAD event. And I'm looking forward to that with UAD, a regularly scheduled UAD fun. Hope you enjoy that one, and take care. Yeah, this is just a grudge match. Very evenly for 2 versus 3 ships. This is where you need a flotilla of destroyers. You do. You need a flotilla of destroyers. Thank you, Ron. Take care.